What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Big Loon. Wanted to come spend some time and talk to y'all about why the episode didn't drop earlier this week. I found myself in the hospital dealing with some situations that is unforeseen, and so I had to spend 5 days in the hospital. As you know, It's Up There podcast is a one-man show in which I'm at the helm of everything involved with this show, and so subsequently it left me in a situation where I didn't have anyone to handle my affairs. I am going to address that in the future because, things happen, and of course I'll get into it maybe on not this part, but couple of parts down. I'll get into my stay, how I was treated, a lot of things, and then the wear and tear of dealing with medical situations, just the wear and tear of that, and how it just wears on you. Someone that's headstrong like me, someone that constantly move, constantly work, constantly shifts, constantly wonders, and just always moving, no grass growing under my feet. It definitely strikes me as a unique situation. To just be in a situation and not be able to move and be in pain and things like that. So I know a lot of y'all follow me, and I posted to let y'all know, man, and I want to send a shout out to everybody that sent me, yo, bro, we rocking with you. Get well, anything we can do. People sending me donations and just trying to make sure I'm all right, you know what I'm saying? And so with that being said, I want to send a salute to all my listeners, my subscribers, my followers, man. Y'all really held me down and hold me down, and this is not over in regards to me figuring out what made me go into the hospital like that with some very, very bad stomach issues. They want to say Crohn's disease. We pray that that's not the case, and we're going to try to figure out exactly what caused that. Not feeling 100% right now. So I just wanted to, check in with y'all, man, and tell y'all thank you for the support, and let you know that I'm going to drop this particular part right here. I had already recorded, but it was a good one, and it was a long part. So I think I went about damn near 3 hours. And I know a lot of y'all, thousands of y'all, be like, yo, we really enjoy because you really get down through that, and we can come back to it. And so what I'm going to do is, because we were late this week, today I'm going to drop an hour and a half, and then Saturday I'm going to drop another hour and a half, and then we'll be back on schedule Monday like we do each week. Again, if you want to send some support to Loon, donate on wherever you listening to the podcast at. $LOON 615 is the cash up. Buy some It's Up There podcast merch. And we got some surprises coming up. Man. And again, I want to say salute to my fans, salute to my supporters. We're gonna do what it takes to try to get our health back at 100%, get our confidence back. When you go through things, sometimes it affects you, because half of the battle is knowing that you got what it takes. And I don't need to be pardoned right now because I don't feel good, but that'll be one of them times I go down through there, but half of the battle is knowing that you got what it takes. And when you can look in the mirror and know that everything they asking for, I have. So I look in the mirror and I know everything they asking for, I possess. And so that way you never see my confidence waver. What happens is, when things like this happen to people like me, it becomes an internal thing. Now it's me against me. You understand? And that's a totally different fight, because I can handle the world at the same time. But when we start to talk about handling yourself and how you view your circumstances, I always tell y'all it's about perspective, but I don't need to part right now. Listen, subscribe to FOGFO TV on YouTube. Follow FOGFO LOONEY on Instagram. We doing big things, man. We want to definitely keep y'all in tune. Thank y'all for the love. Thank y'all for the prayers. Thank y'all for the well wishes. We're gonna try to nurse ourselves back to health, man, and get back to that loon y'all love 100%, and give the unfiltered truth, man, and come on down with some of the game that y'all enjoy, man. And you know, with the pardon thing, it gives me chills. So many people enjoy it. I've never had so many people enjoy one thing from me. I had a lot of people enjoy a lot of different things from me, but I haven't had so many people enjoy one thing. So it puts a burden on me that you may not know. But it's a burden that I appreciate and I enjoy. So again, I want to say thank you. I received thousands of prayers, DMs, comments. Like, it just be overwhelming. And you know, during this time you in those hospitals and you alone and you don't know, you know, what the next step is. You don't know whether or not you headed up or down. You going or coming. You know, you don't know, man. And I just want people to know, and I also feel for the families that had to go through COVID and not being able to go in there and see their people, or even people having COVID and the feeling of that. Because I wasn't dealing with COVID, but I was in some real excruciating things that just sat me down, man. And so again, I'm gonna nurse myself back to health one day. You know, we'll be in a situation to have a team around us to help us with some of these things, and I won't have to do them all by myself. But that's the circumstances we find ourselves in, and you know, we don't cry, we hustle. But yeah, at some point, man, we'll have a team around us to pick up some of the slack, in which Big Loon can't do everything. You know, I know. You know, I pop it. You know, I be popping it. You know, I be popping it. You understand me? So yeah. I know, and I can handle it all. It just I'm getting to a point that is so many people depending on this. So many people that love my voice. And when I say voice, I don't mean what they hear. I mean what I'm saying. Not the tone of my voice, but the things I'm saying. You know, and I just feel an obligation to the audience. Feel an obligation to my family that I've told that you know, this right here pay off, and I'm gonna make sure of that. And an obligation to myself, as it acts as a therapy for me. You know, it gives me an opportunity to get in a safe space and examine my ideas and look at the world that I'm faced with. Look at the circumstances I'm faced with, right? Sometimes you don't even know that you got shit all around you. You ever got in a motherfucker car, and when you got in that car, you damn, this car dirty. But they get in that car, they don't feel it, they don't see it, they don't know it. It's become normal to have shit everywhere, to have chaos has become normal. To the point where I can step into your world and say, wow, bro, they done left you out to dry. This how you living? Like, bro, you ain't gonna clean your, but you don't feel it. And I think these times like this, man, it makes you bring out a magnifying glass and look at life through a different pair of lens. It ain't many men that can do what it is I do. It ain't many people that can examine the world in a way where people will gravitate to them. You know, I had people try to say things about me. Fortunate for me, they couldn't say anything that ever had facts next to it. I always tell people it ain't about what's being said, it's about who's saying it. When you hear somebody call me a liar, when you hear somebody call me anything outside the truth, when you hear a motherfucker call me anything outside the truth, you know they doing themselves a disservice. But let's get into the part, man. We got into all kind of shit. I really appreciate my supporters, my fans. Y'all showed me love. I'm gonna nurse myself back. We ain't going nowhere. I know y'all probably panicked. Like, damn, what happened? No, sir. We not going nowhere. Nowhere. You know what I'm saying? We ain't tied up. We tied in. It's Up There Podcast. Let's get to the episode. Appreciate y'all. Subscribe right now.
With It's Up There Podcast.
Welcome to It's Up There Podcast, your number one place for business and podcasting. Ranked number 36 in the motherfucking world. Sit back, turn up the volume on your phone, and enjoy the show with your homie and host, Big Loon.
Welcome to It's Up There Podcast. I am your active and attractive host for another episode of the fastest growing podcast on the market right now. We have peaked at number 36 in the world as far as music category. We want to send a shout out and thank you to everybody that's tuned in, tapped in, or however you may have came across some of the game, right? I want to say this. If you are looking at the video version of this podcast and you want to check out the audio, you head to anywhere you get podcasts. Tap in, It's Up There Podcast, and then we should pop up. If you listening to the audio and you want to maybe see the visual, what I'm working with, right? You head over to FOGFO TV on YouTube and you're able to get the visual there and tap in with me and what I do as far as this game is concerned, right? All my videos, music, and everything. Also, go to Patreon, subscribe. It's Up There Podcast on Patreon. We starting to load up over there. Appreciate the people that's already tapped in. Those of you that's not, let's make that happen for the culture, right? Let's get some revenue going over here for the culture. This is for the culture, right? Put the real game out. Also, go get you some merch. It's Up There Podcast Teespring account. That link is in the bio or in the description of the podcast you're listening to right now. Hit that link, get you a couple of shirts. Let me know what the vibrations is. If you support, if you don't support, get on away from around here. We're going to get every single one of you. We blocking every single one of you. We blocking. Ain't no sense you being over here, right? We moving like that. We don't have much time. It's limited. Our inventory is our time, and we move with that in our minds, right? So shout out to everybody that's tapped in, tuned in. I want to just speak about, it's a lot going on in the culture. The VERSUZ, again, is at the forefront of the culture. We got Diddy and JD going at it on Instagram. We got Fat Joe and Ja Rule just came off a VERSUZ battle, and I got a very interesting take on VERSUZ, right? And so my perspective and how I give it up and what I like to do, right? So we gonna get with that. What else we got? We just got a lot going on, a lot to talk about. Before I get into any of those topics, I just kind of want to speak about like the growth of the podcast and being thankful and grateful. A lot of times I'm finding that I got some kind of issue. Right, my issue is, right, I got hundreds of thousands of people tapped in liking what I'm doing. Even those of you that never comment, see, because I know that customer, right? I know you. So I want to talk to you for a second. The one that's listening but never comment, probably don't follow me, but you listening. I know what that's like because it's a lot of podcasts I do that I don't engage at all. But I'm really, really tapped in. And I know I got a lot of y'all out there. So I want to talk. I want to thank y'all. I want to thank the ones that's tapped in and engaged, comment. I want to thank all y'all, man, because fortunate to be growing at this rate, dog. You dig what I'm saying? Because it's a lot going on out there behind the scenes that I don't speak about because, you don't want to start speaking about things before things actually has unfolded, right? But it's a lot of traction going on with your boy. It's a whole lot of traction going on with this podcast space, and I appreciate it. But it is a difference. There's a difference between, I was looking at one of my homeboys, right? One of the swiftest niggas I know, right? And they see me, right? So everybody see me doing what I'm doing and how it's moving and how I'm grooving, and they go to saying like, yo, I'm finna try to get into that, and you know me, I'm open on policy. That's the home team. Let him, you dig what I'm saying? We gonna put him in like we in. I just want to kind of frame it, right? Who about this individual? This individual is a kind of individual that very swift, get money, 0 to 100K in 60 days kind of guy, right? And when I was a young boy, that meant a lot to me. you know, seeing that I'm in a place where financially we're crippled, right? And so if I'm in a situation to identify that that's our circumstance, and then identify that, hey, you was down here, you around us, but y'all figuring it out with this dope thing. Y'all dudes is swift, but as you get older, you start to look at situations and say, damn, I think it's almost like what they say, your strength become your weakness, right? You super hard and you super swift in the dope game, but but that's your strength. But guess what your weakness is? Is that you super swift in the dope game. So you fall victim to that every time, and you keep going to the dope game because that's you super swift in it. You dig what I'm saying? But see, what you gotta know is, Loon, you gotta know when it's not hot. That's one of the things I took from Jay-Z when he was talking a long time ago, and it slipped past a lot of people, but it was good game. Everybody want to know it when it's doing what is, oh, this is hot. But it's more important to know when something is not hot. When to stop something, when to press pause, when to let that relationship go, when to walk away from the job, when to walk away from it's value in knowing that, when to pivot. Because if you don't, again, I speak about it all the time. You see the rapper that's still in the same costume from 30 years ago. He's showing up like, yo, bro, you 60, bro. Why you still dressing up like when you was in the 90s? That's what I'm saying. It's really two different hip hops. I respect both of them. But which hip hop am I from? I'm from the South. You dig? I don't really. So what I'm saying is that it be a little thing happening. You know what? Where I say, okay, let's see what you can do. Now, this is what I gain from it. I say it's a difference between having game and executing game. You ever seen a dude like you show up at the center? It's a dude, he got the whole outfit. He got the headband, the wristband. He got, you dig what I'm saying? The Nikes, the compression shit on. I mean, he head to toe. You put him in the game, man, he don't even like, yo, bro, is you playing or what we doing, bro? You got all this fancy shit on. You look like the game, but you ain't got no game. Somewhere along the lines, looking like the part became acceptable. But see, I'm cut from the cloth where you want to not look the part because you in stealth mode. You don't never want to look the part. That's right now. My look is a sneak attack. My look don't represent my mentality or my perspective. At this point, this is the rock niggas to sleep. You dig what I'm saying? But that's something else that I don't, necessarily need to speak about. But seeing that, right? And so if I put you on a podcast, you gotta know how to not you don't gotta know, but what you see me doing, it's a lot more going into that. It's transitions, it's segues, it's this, it's that. It's all kind of things happening that you got to know how to do. So it ain't just getting on there talking about what we talk about or what you may know about, right? You got to open that up. And so when you school a nigga that got game and you give him some game, he go execute the game. That's how this work. That's why that's why you heard me last week talk about the 500K thing with Jay-Z and dinner with Jay-Z. Now, I wouldn't take the dinner. I'd take the money. But I need you to understand that some people do work with that mentality that when somebody with some game, give somebody some game, they got some game, they go execute the game. I just don't think Jay-Z can give me 500K worth of game that I can do, right, without putting up 500K. Right? So some game that are just right now you leave here and you can go get 2 million. Unless it's some kind of cosigning to go, you know what I mean? So that was a slippery thing. So again, I'm taking the money. I know what I can do with the paper. I trust my hustle. Yeah, you dig what I'm saying? My legs, they bend, they don't break. You dig what I'm saying? The weight of the world is just, yeah. So for me, that's how I look at it. And so, just flirting with that idea And just seeing that was just a hell of a thing, right? So we're gonna listen. First topic we'll get to today is Kwame Brown and Russell Westbrook. So for those of you that's unaware, Kwame Brown came out speaking about Russell Westbrook because he wore a dress. This dress, I don't know, I guess was a fashion statement. Some of us don't know the burden that we carry, right, when we become famous. See, it's more than just and I can't say I understand it wholeheartedly, right? But I understand that there is a burden there, whether you accept it or not means nothing, right? There's certain things that you travel with that you don't necessarily have to grab yourself. Right? And influence is one of them. When you at the top of the NBA or you some sort of you got some notoriety, right? So you travel with burden that people are going to take what I do and it's going to influence. But right now we got a situation in the culture, man, where it's a divide. We got Lil Nas X at the forefront of it in regards to separation of the LGBT and the heterosexual community. In regards to African Americans, just black people, we seem to be in a weird place. I'm not sure if that's by design, because where did we get off at fighting with each other when we had a clear objective for a minute there? When we was fighting racism and we was fighting police brutality. And then next thing you know, we start infighting. Here it is. Boom. I want to use that bathroom. I don't want to use that bathroom. Well, you can't tell me how to feel. Hold up. He said this about them. He didn't. Right. Shit just went haywire. But we done forgot about hey, it was something going on right before that. We had a common goal right before that. And y'all want to tell me this ain't by design some kind of way? Some kind of way they ain't put this out in the forefront to make sure that get them to infighting. They focused on us a little bit too heavy. They got a little influence. And then some of us just fall back because there's business involved. Like me, I don't share an opinion. I speak on it from, see, this is the part I understand. I speak on it from this standpoint. Transition is happening, right? What we know to be normal, what we know to be the case is now changing. There's a transition happening in which people have to adapt to. The way they adapt is going to be depending on that individual. What's happening is that they're fast tracking, right? Because it's an oppressed group, so they're trying to fast track it, right? Hurry up. What they're not understanding is the human mind may not work like that, depending on your past, depending on where you were born. Certain things play into your ability to adapt to things, right? And so they're meeting some resistance. They're even some people feeling like they're coming under attack. You got people telling their kids, watch out for this. You got people saying that, they in school trying to, it's getting weird. It's getting weird, bro. It's getting like, it's getting weird, bro. It's getting weird, bro. And I just want to know where it come from. Cause we had a common goal. They fucked over George Floyd. We was on the BLM. We was riding around. Y'all gotta stop. Yeah. All of a sudden we start fighting with each other. So Kwame Brown came out after Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook, again, I think, not sure if he's making a fashion statement or what. But I'll put the picture there. We'll put what Kwame Brown says, and then we'll speak on it. Before I speak about the Kwame Brown and Russell Westbrook video, or play the video of Kwame Brown, I want to make reference to something, and I want to speak about famous dicks. We send positive energy to famous dicks on his journey in this thing, man. But when I look at famous dicks, the kind of vibes I get is one of them boys that let the streets, let this rap game, let this little thing of ours bite him. He couldn't shake it off his back. See, you indulge with this game, but you better be careful. And that's why I tell the little youngsters that I know, if they ain't cut like that, and if they ain't been outside and in them streets, and to be able to understand the level of understanding you need, I tell them don't even play with it. Because playing with fire get you burnt. And when you deal with these little boys that get in this rap game and get a hold to some power and get a hold to a certain level of influence, you know, some stuff that they really ain't never had or understood. Now they got all this around them that'll do what they say on command. Whatever drug they want, they got access to. Whatever women they want, they got access to. Sometimes you can't cut that off. But see, when you come from a place where I can get up all day long and hustle if I want to, all day, 24 hours, I can be on the clock if I want to. But you know how to tame yourself. That Tuesdays and Thursdays, I ain't getting down. Sundays is family day. I go to church. You know, you got to have some restraint is what I'm saying. And dealing with the streets, you're going to get some restraint or you're going to go to prison. Then you're going to get some restraint in prison and come back out. If you didn't get enough restraint, you'll try it again and make these same mistakes, right? But if, Lord willing, you don't have to go down that road to find some self-discipline in regards to the way you indulge in things. But when I look at the young brother, Famous Dex, I say, man, I really think that he let these people, he let this game wrap their arms around his neck and squeeze. You know what I'm saying? And so let this be a lesson to the young brothers out there, man, that you may not want to indulge in something that you may not know nothing about. You know, you want to be in a situation where you got a little information on what you're doing. A lot of people don't have any level of understanding the consequence of the certain things they do. So they able to get away with things because of their notoriety, right? But when it all catches up to them, they got to wear the jacket that they've been asking for that whole time. That's why I tell people like 6ix9ine, these kind of people, right? You heard Jay Prince said he made it famous. If you keep campaigning, you're going to get elected. If you keep campaigning, you're going to get elected. But you don't know what election look like. Because you've been campaigning in an area where ain't nobody elected nobody. But see, Famous Dex was walking that line where he was, you got to remember, he is from Chirac, and he is, you know, he could probably get whatever drug he want. He spent a lot of time in, like, it's certain things that happen in this game that you better have some restraint. You better get some self-discipline. You see them, listen, the superstar dudes that's going to be around a long time, a lot of times is the ones that you see when they pivot into almost superstar, you see them start to work out. See them start to change their diet. I seen them with all of them. 2 Chainz, Kevin Gates, Moneybag, Yo Gotti, Rick Ross. Like everybody does. It's a thing because you better pivot. Now you got access to everything in this world, and you can sit around and get high all day. You can sit around and have orgies all day. So you better find some restraint. You better go to working out. You better go to indulging in these different companies, staying in meetings, staying engaged. Because with the money comes a certain level of freedom that you got access to that can ruin the money. So everything you work hard for is now at risk because everything you work hard for is put you in a position to now have a certain level of freedom. So the ones you see fall off and go broke, a lot of times them the ones that they pivot in the superstar, they just start getting high more. They just start spending more. They just start getting more girls, more babies, more this, more. Them the ones that not saying their career over, but sometimes they go to prison. They go on and fumble the whole situation. Boom, fumble. Ball on the ground. He gone to prison. $1 million nigga on top of the world. Now in prison. But when he come out, if he was a certain level of individual, when he come out, them people waiting on him. And that just notarized him even more. So he able to reel all that back in and pivot, because jail made him pivot. But the small ones pivot on their own. I'm hitting superstardom. Nigga, I got to change up. Hey, yo, give me a nutrition, give me a workout regimen. Like, I got to start delegating my time. Studio there, because if I just go to fucking and I just go to freaking and I just go to doing nothing, man, I'm gonna fall off. I'm gonna look good for about 3 years, maybe 4 if I'm having a good run. Some dudes 18 months, but 3 years, maybe 4 if I'm having a good run. Then you're gonna start seeing me slowly fall off. Number 1 hits. He never pivoted. He just started getting high more. He just started smoking more. He just started having more babies. See, you start seeing him. See, lucky for NBA, his influence was so high. But now, I guarantee you, when he come out of prison, his mindset different. Pivot time. Pivot time. This is what you get. Kodak. Pivot time. Y'all, if you not, then you're gonna be hot for that little time, and then you're gonna dwindle along the way, and then say the label done you wrong. See this story and over and over. We know how this movie ends, and still I play. You see what I'm saying? But I need y'all to understand what kind of game I'm putting down, and what I need you to understand. You gonna pivot one way or another, or you gonna go broke. What happens is some people have to go to prison, pivot, get out, and get on their game. The smart ones are able to pivot prior to going to prison. They don't gotta do. They feel it and they pivot, delegate their time, because that freedom that you now have access to is new money. This is new money. I can blow the whole bag. This new money we dealing with. You see? So yeah, I wanted to speak on that. But let's listen to Kwame Brown talk about Russell Westbrook, and then we'll go from there.
Players for when they by white boys anyway. And I can speak about it, nigga, because when I played, I had to shut my mouth too. There's 2 ways you can go, nigga. You bite the apple and wear them motherfucking dresses like Russell Westbrook or whatever the fuck his name is. I don't even want to say this nigga name no more. But this ain't this nigga first time in a dress. So I don't know why people so alarmed. This nigga been wearing dresses and weird ass shit. But see, like I told you, LBJ said, your leaders, they'll give them to you. And just because this nigga can jump high and play basketball, not nary nigga, not no Geechee nigga, not no nigga I ever was raised up with, gonna be walking around the goddamn streets with a dress on and some motherfucking boots and get my respect and say he heterosexual. Now, if you gay, cool, my cousin gay. I don't give a fuck. I got gay girl, female cousins, male cousins. It don't matter about that. But when you say you a heterosexual male and that's what you do, nigga, fuck you. And that's my opinion, nigga. So if you wanted my opinion on that, I think these niggas is exposing exactly what I said. These bitch ass celebrities bite that motherfucking apple. And I never bit no apple. I just shut my mouth. That's how you gotta do it. You gotta shut your mouth or bite that apple. And there's plenty niggas like me that's just not talking. Cause that weird ass shit they around is weird as fuck. What kind of nigga y'all, what hood y'all, these niggas supposed to be from? Nigga in high heel boots and a mini skirt. Nigga, what the fuck wrong with you? Man, please. These are your leaders.
You know, I do. I mean, I would like to ask them what do that be about? I think it's something I'm not understanding just yet. Like, what do the skirt thing be about? Like, I knew what Thug was doing. He said what he was doing, right? Like, you dig what I'm saying? What do the skirt thing be about? Like, not that I'm, you dig what I, but I'm saying, educate us though, at least, like me, educate us. You know what I mean? Like, yo, what is that? What that's on? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying as a humble dude that don't know. Like, what is that? What y'all doing with that? Like, I'm saying, listen, this is what I'm saying. When I go into a store, right, they have a men's section and a women's section. I'm asking, what is making you ignore is it the store that's in the wrong? Like, help me understand that piece of it. Someone that have a conversation, hit me up, DM me, I bring you on the show. Like, I really want to have that conversation about what is the men wearing skirt thing. Are they making skirts for men, or are these men wearing women clothing? Because I think the point of contention, even with Kwame, is not necessarily what your sexual preference is, but you're representing a certain category of men with this behavior. Help us understand how those two run parallel. Respectfully. No disrespect. It's a conversation, right? To that community, because I have to remain mainstream friendly as I navigate this area, because I am doing this for financial gain as well, right? And not saying that what I say don't represent my real feelings. I would just use maybe harsher words in regards to adjectives surrounding just conversations. I like to kind of tap dance around it in regards to how I say it and what I say, because it's a slippery slope that you got to speak to your fans about, they hit you about, but you got to know how to do it in a way that's not offensive. Hopefully someone's doing that out there to my community. But I think that more so is the circumstance that we find ourselves in. But I want to know, me myself, is about the skirt thing. Like, how y'all, what that is about? Like, is it fashion? Is it y'all just in the wrong side of the store? Y'all ain't peeping out. Like, y'all ignoring the sign. Like, how you even know what size to get? It's questions that I got, like, in regards to that. Cause I know what kind of pants I need, because they tell me these are men pants size 36. You dig what I'm saying? These are men pants, slim fit. Like, I know what these is. How do you know which one of those to get? You dig? But I don't know. But let's hear what Russell Westbrook said back. It's an interesting thing. Nonetheless, we'll move on from that. Speaking of football and sports, I mean, not football, sports in general, Cam Newton. For those of you that may not know, Cam Newton was playing with the New England Patriots, and then he was cut for the backup quarterback who now has the starting job. A lot came out about it. A lot of people said that there was rumbles in the media that Cam Newton was a problem, that he was hard to work with, or he danced too much, he wasn't focused. There was a 5-day thing in which he was gone. I think COVID may have been in place. So there was things happening. There were things happening with Cam Newton. And so the Patriots decided to go ahead and just cut him. He walked away, I think, with his money. But then he did an interview where he has a show called, I think, Keep It Funky or Friday. We're about to take a look at some of it and kind of digest it a little bit. Very interesting interview. Very interesting interview. He kind of got into it a little bit. I think he overreaches with the slang talk. And I like Cam Newton, big fan of him. I have him on the pod and speak to him like game giver, right? But you gotta square up for the money. You gotta square on up for the money, man. Listen, when the money is the problem, fix the problem. Square up for the money, get the money, double back. All right, now y'all were dealing with this the whole time. Y'all ain't know, stealth mode, right? See, my game is always understanding the end. Listen, my game is always begin with the end in mind. Everything. So square up, get the money. Most money as you can get. And then, like, what's your boy played for LA out there? With the Skittles. Ran that ball real good, man. What's that dude's name? I can't think of his name. Had the gold cleats. I'm just here so I don't get fined. Him. That's the vibe you need. That's the vibe you want. Square up, get the money at the end. It is what it is. But Cam is in great shape. He should still be getting big money, which he gonna get big money. This is the thing. Somebody asked me when I was, because I pulled up his interview and watched him, so I can speak about it. And the individuals I was around, they don't know, they really didn't know Cam. They don't know who this is. So I'm like, that's football dude, Cam Newton, man, big time football dude. You dig? And they said, so who was the other dude? I'm like, oh, that's his father. And she said, oh, okay. Why he right there talking to him? I said, well, that's a beautiful thing. His father got him fired. Who else to come talk to? Come holler at Supreme Game. I gave you a little game. You took it far as you can go. You dig? And I'm with you. And Daddy gonna tell you right. You dig? So, we spoke about that. But then I said, Cam was lucky to have old school with him. See, old school, that's why I'm sharp like I am. Because old school, I got my uncle, a couple dudes around me. And then my young homies, the homies my age, they swift. So we just, I've been around some of the rottenness of the rottenness. You got to be swift to be able to, yeah. So, he was lucky to have old school around him. But they had asked me, what his daddy do? Why he got his daddy? I said, man, you looking at what his daddy done. Yeah, you looking at what his daddy done. That dude right there that went to the NFL and made all that money, that's what his daddy done. That don't happen by, nigga ain't that talented. I don't care who you is. None of you that talented to come out the womb, do nothing, and go pro. You got to do something. You got to do something. So what you're dealing with is a man that dedicated his time to take his son down to the football field on Saturdays and Sundays and stay late night. You're dealing with that level of commitment from a guy. Not only that he was on daddy duties, but he actually loved football. Then I got to thinking, it's a difference. All these dads ain't here with the same vibe. Some of these dads here, they love football. They love this thing they son got going. And some is just on daddy duty. That's my little boy, I'm here. I think the vibe is different when your daddy really love it. I had to start being a little more engaged myself. I seen the white dad over there with his son. The white dad with his son, the quarterback for his little team. Whole nother team ain't playing my son or nothing. He over there with the ball. His son over there on that side. He over there with the ball doing like that right there. Throwing it to his son. Just copy me. His son do it. He throw it back. He hit it. He said, make sure your hips. I said, ain't this a bitch? He like it. Man, come on, son. Get on down. I'm eating. He ain't finna. Man, what these folks thinking? Shit, let's get it. Yeah, man, shit, black dads matter. So I get on and I'm coming with what I'm coming with. Yeah, so it's just a difference. So you dealing with Cam Newton and his father taking him down there on Saturdays and Sundays and all night long. So you looking at what I did. When you look at my son and he is a opposite of the failures that I've achieved. He got his own failures, but the ones that I done, we gonna try to keep him away from them because I gained some information from them. And it's my job to pass the game down. You pass the game down. He passed the game down. We gonna be game related, our whole family. You dig? And that's what it's supposed to be about. But let's look at the Cam Newton and his father, and we'll kind of navigate through it and speak on it. He also named this episode My Side of the Story because he felt the media pressure. He felt the media painting the picture, the press releases going out, the rumbles from sources, all this and that. He felt that. Which, if I'm going home and need a job, and this is the rhetoric y'all put out, y'all effectively trying to keep me without a job. That's why it's important. Pivot when you get some money. That don't just go for the rapper, the street nigga. when you get some money and you get a certain level of freedom, understand that and delegate your time to stay focused. I can't wait till they bring me a check. Nigga, I ain't even focused and I'm doing this good. I ain't even focused. Dude, I'm running around still. Yeah, I ain't even, you feel me? So when I'm able to get focused, it's over with. You're going to see me execute the game because this is what the game is about. You see what I'm saying? And I don't just talk it. I understand it and I execute it. That what make me different than everybody else. They talking game. I'm executing game. Two different things. Let's listen to a little bit of the
have any type of red flag or an alert, then that's when you kind of overthrow and say, whoa.
Oh, yeah,
hey,
yeah.
Lucy this. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, Ricky,
Yeah.
Ricky.
Playbook, and Josh McDaniels was not dumbing down the playbook for you, Cam.
Nah, if anything, I was like, Josh, like, bro, it's so new to me. Like, I've never been in a system that required me to know where the mic is, to know the front, to identify.
So they're asking him about, because again, rumors came out, rumblings. There's rumblings of certain things, right? There's rumblings that he don't know the playbook, the plays, he ain't paying attention, he ain't even on it. So this is his response to that.
Certain, fronts and XYZ. That's just, you can't say that that's stupid, or why wouldn't you know that? Because half of the NFL, I would say 30 teams out of 32 teams don't run this philosophy. It's in the centers.
Okay.
It's in the centers call because they control the protection.
That's right.
And if you have any type of red flag or an alert, then that's when you kind of overthrow and say, whoa.
Oh, yeah,
hey,
yeah.
Lucy this. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, Ricky,
Yeah.
Ricky to 50.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Something
Yeah.
like that. But as far as that, man, no, Mac was cool, man. He was a person who was young. He was still trying to find his way. So that's
and will continue to try to find his way.
And that's why I was just saying, what can he teach me when it's coming at him faster than it was coming at me? You know what I mean? I would always ask Mac, and we was helping each other. You know what I mean? Where it's like, bro, you straight, bro? And I would go to
quarterback that
Hoyster
they gave
and be
his
like,
job.
bro, you seen something that I ain't see, or what was the mic or XYZ? And then me and Josh had a great dialogue after practice or during practice that he would tell me. But as far I felt heads and toes above where I was understanding
12 months ago.
Oh man,
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
So, but I mean, so what was being meant by a guy that would say that I never would trust anybody who would say sources say? I mean, I'm willing to come on the radio. I'm willing
name
to
on it.
Put your name
Keep
on it.
it funky,
But
you know
I
what I'm
also am gonna say on Funky Friday, put some respect on my name. Don't just come out here and just start chopping away and trying to validate what you think that decision was about, and now you trying to get brownie points with a portion of the media or the portion of the NFL market that want to hear that anyway. I'm appalled that you would dumb down and you would still come with this philosophy that black quarterbacks and people like you, the locks and that kind of stuff, are dumb and they can't really identify.
But I say, let's just call it a spade. No pun intended with the ace part. I'm an easy target. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm an easy target. Just look at my career, Pop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And see, that's what that's what I want to speak to, right? I'm glad he said that because he's not lying, and I feel you. I feel you from a position of I've always been an easy target, right? I make myself an easy target. One of my flaws. You understand? Because certain principles that's intact won't allow me to play the game. Wouldn't allow me to adjust my stance, even if it's not a real adjustment, right? Sometimes, again, they playing a game, so it's a game being played, and if you put too much into the game, then you the failure, because whatever happened ain't as serious to them as it is to you, and you got more. It's just a weird thing. Nonetheless, he not telling no lie with that. That's the honest truth that dude's saying. That's the honest truth that dude's saying as far as a easy target. But this one I'm telling the youngsters, don't make yourself an easy target. Sometimes, don't get it confused what I'm saying, homie. Sometimes I know you don't got to make yourself an easy target. They gonna make you an easy target. But what I'm saying, if you can, square on up, get them folks money, get the paper, go on back to the crib, do the job, handle the business, and then get out the way. And then if so, there is a situation. I always say, you know, these people are so, they ain't, you're not smart enough. Even when I look at, you know, the past of certain people being in groups and then tearing off the group because they feel as though that they, you know, is mean more to the group than they actually do, or whatever the case may be. A lot of times them be mistakes. Because all they listening to is these little folks around them. They ain't really taking in no analytics. They ain't really got anything tangible. They just believe in it type thing. Man, if it's working, don't break it, man. If it's working, don't break it. But again, I always preach the game. Don't make yourself an easy target. Stay away from these people. These people want you to be an easy target. Do not do yourself like that, even though I believe Cam didn't have to. Because Cam is part of us, they gonna treat him a certain way. He do the dances. He do the this. He is tapped in. You see him up there now with the bandana and the, yeah, what's happening? Yeah, but that. You see that. So he one of us. They gonna treat him like one of us. You gonna live where they at, but they gonna treat you like one of us. You gonna work for them and they gonna make you a millionaire, but they gonna treat you like one of us. That's where a lot of y'all get it wrong at. You go sit next to white folks and you forget that when it all boils down, they gonna treat you like one of us. You don't get a pass cause I cut you a check. You don't get a pass cause you got the $300,000 Maybach truck. When it all boils down, they gonna treat you like one of us. You can live next to them, you can eat next to them, you can talk next to them, you can date next to them, but when it all boils down, they gonna treat you like one of us.
Coming from college, going through everything that we done went through. Yep. A lot of people who have NFL success, they necessarily wasn't that person in college. Yo. You know, yo. And I'm not saying it to beat on my own chest, but I was a winner in college. I was a winner in high school. At every level. At every level. When I look at a lot of these players that's flourishing late, they was 2- and 3-star athletes. Mm-hmm. I was 5-star everywhere. And that's a curse and a blessing of sorts. Correct. To where from day one, a lot of the NFL pre-draft pundits were saying I wouldn't take him. He's not going to be accurate. He's going to be a one-read, chuck and duck type quarterback. And man, I mean, you know, it's foolish to some degree, and I've been quiet and kind of resigned to not saying a whole lot, but man, this is my Funky Friday. This is pop coming full circle. Man, I gave you the quote of the year. What's up? And this was really last month when it was on my heart. I was watching a movie at the time, really one of my favorite movies, and it was the Batman, The Dark Knight. Okay. And one of the quotes was, either you die a hero or you live long enough and you become a villain. That's correct. And at this particular point, I was feeling like I was a villain. You know what I mean? Like, why everybody coming for me? Like, why everybody talking about the way I dress? I've been dressing like this in high school, but, and, you know what I'm saying? But with your star power and your swag, Cam. Now, I'm gonna address the locks. I'm gonna touch on some other things. The average American perception about a black dude with locks means he's radical, he has his own ideological views that don't follow mainstream America. Right. That kind of hair intimidates people. Okay, cool. So for you to say that, and I'm a name drop, would you say Trevor Lawrence's hair intimidates you? Not to me.
Now what this says is, to me, is I didn't catch that, but that says to me, he might have asked him to cut his hair. And I don't know, man, like you know, I say square up and get the money, man, but the haircut thing, maybe it didn't cause for a haircut, but I really don't think I'm cutting my hair by no. Like I'm saying, dog, I'm already squaring up, bruh. I'm squaring up, fam. Damn, y'all ain't finna take all my identity. I'ma square up for the money, bruh, but damn, bruh, y'all gonna cut it. Like, yo, I don't know, Slime. I don't know about the cutting hair thing, but it seemed like Pops, he from that old school, cut your hair. Get your hair cut when you go to that job interview. Don't go to that job interview with your hair like, get your hair cut. Them the people that think when you go to court just cause you got a suit on, you know, you get a lighter sentence. Or if you say, you know, it's certain things that is misconceptions in my opinion, but let's continue.
Only people of color who are gonna be stigmatized with the locks and the dreads. I hear people saying time and time again, I like the old Cam. I like the Cam who was coming out of Auburn. I mean, man, you're almost a generation away from that philosophy. Are you the same person? Are you genuine to the extent that kids really matter in your life? Do you do well by your own family?
That word right there, that's what really hit people different. Because when you meet me and you realize how genuine I am, everything else don't matter.
Tell me, give me an update on, even from the Panthers to the Patriots, somebody who had their own presupposition about who Cam Newton was, and then they broke down without naming them and told you contrary to what they were reading or what they heard or what they thought you were as a person.
Well, you have to think about this too. For me, I went into a whole different organization where my career was already what it was. You know, everybody knew who I was when I walked into, Patriot Place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So me trying to act like something that I wasn't, that, it was only a matter of time until they seen, oh, this is how he really is. But to have understood
He talking about that's really in response to what I'm saying. He talking about squaring up. He said it was only a matter of time before he couldn't square up, and then they probably, and maybe that's true. I'm not sure. I don't know. But I'm finna try to, yeah.
You would have needed to be around me for multiple days. There were times where, a lot of people would say like, man, like you really dress like this every single day. You're like, well, how do you do it? And I'm like, bro, I pick my clothes out, the night before. Oh, you really act like this like every single day. Like, bro, like that's how I get myself going. Like you really like work out. Like
white and black players.
White and black. This ain't no color. Like
yeah.
I don't necessarily get into like race with that. If you a good soul, I look into inner piece, because there's some black people that won't do right by black people.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Correct,
and all white people ain't gonna.
They're not the devil.
They're not the devil.
Yeah.
Correct. So yeah, man, my whole narrative has always been created by somebody else's definition of who I was.
That's correct.
Is it fair? No. But now I sit in this seat. And at 32 with more understanding about that. There's nothing that I could do. And I'll say like, Mac Jones didn't beat me out.
Yeah.
But I would have been a distraction knowing that if they would have gave him the starting role, they knew, the perception that they would have had, if the success didn't come as they were percent. Even if they would have gave, and somebody said it best. Let's say, for instance, you are still there. You are the starter. Okay. With that roster, you can win right now.
Right now.
If you go 4-1 or 5-0,
you locked in.
You can't
unseat that.
Even if you go 5-0, and then you go 5 for 5.
Yeah.
It's still there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I just think, a lot of these sports talk pundits were kind of using you as a scapegoat for discussion and kind of media points. And inciting public opinion to the extent that a lot of people kind of wanted to see Mac before you, and you were going to be on a short leash. Everybody just constantly saying that. And I think you were going to address that. I think your preseason play kind of spoke to the mere fact that is the accuracy there? Is the arm strength there? Is he healthy? So why are we having these conversations? I just think they just kept rocking the boat. I think it just became a media distraction for an organization that wasn't used to
That.
the supposedly face of that organization, and we would be better off clipping that distraction and moving on.
Yeah.
And I think the higher ups, I mean, political people probably had issue with it. People were shocked that Dollar Bill made the call, and some people very well applauded for that decision to be made. I was insulted to the extent that, you know, here you gut punch a brother who, you know, did a lot of good. Didn't have a whole lot of, you know, outside distractions, like we got to go to court on something, like we got to do this, and news that crept out that something in your past, or strength enhancing and drugs in your system. Now, let me come back to the vaccination, because everybody said they offered you to take the vaccination and you refused. Let me go on record as Pop. Let me go on record to say this. I am vaccination hesitant. I am. I don't take everybody's opinion about what I should do. I never in my whole life have followed.
And so, of course, there's more points of contingency there in regards to Cam Newton, the Patriots, and how that whole situation ended up playing out. But I want to take some time out also, again, just to celebrate, you know, Black fatherhood. You dig what I'm saying? Again, we now, you know, we now Black fathers are placing ourselves in situations to be at the forefront of the image, to control our own narrative in regards to fatherhood. And shout out to the women that allow their fathers, their baby fathers, the chance to actually give their sons or daughters whatever game that they do possess, and not on their terms. You know, sometimes things in fathering and parenthood, you know, it's a situation where you gotta work together for the greater good, right? You have people though that are irresponsible, to say the least, and so they want you to be responsible for the things that they're irresponsible for, and that's just an uncomfortable situation to place yourself in. But I want to take some time just to celebrate, you know, dad speaking to son. Son could have go hire Joe Budden, Charlemagne, Loon, Big Bank, Wallow. Could have go hiring anybody that's $1 million guy. Could have went and hired anybody. But said, I want to sit down with my father and chop it up. And he telling him, hey, yo, as Pop, I'm saying this. Yo, as your father, like, yo, as Pop, this is how I feel. Hey, yo, as Pop. So it lets you know he's been that driving force. He's been that guy there that's been able to say, yo, dude, like, yo, like, nah, don't do that. That ain't cool. Or do that. That's straight. That's straight. Yeah, that's a cool thing. You know, he's been there, and he's and again, that's his high school field. They sitting there. I can just think about the feeling that has. I can't wait to show my mama something like, yo, mom, you remember all that trouble we got into, all that I did. Here you go. Fly. See? Millions. Do your thing. I went and done that about you. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just a situation, man, that you must understand and just celebrate, man. Fatherhood, Black fatherhood is a beautiful thing. We'll take a break. We'll come back with our versus talk. We got ETSG manager. Feds picked him up. Got NICKI versus the White House about the COVID. We got the Blueface fight. Fat Joe Ja Rule. Mo Payne, 17 years, Lil Baby, Watch Busters, P. Diddy, JD. So we got a big show still coming up. So y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back in just a second. Love.
After this break, we'll be back breaking the game down with It's Up There podcast. Stay tuned.
We also, I also want to hit on the Nicki Minaj situation. So for those of you that may not know, Nicki Minaj is in a situation right now in which she had a sort of a poll type of thing, where she talked about COVID on her social media. The interesting thing I found about this was when she went and talked about it. You heard me last week talk about Joe Rogan kind of going through some of the same thing. So you heard me last week talk about the fact that Joe Rogan went through sort of the same thing in regards to just being at the forefront of influence and having thoughts that's outside of mainstream media's blanket of understanding that they would like to push out their agenda, right? Whenever you fall on the other side of that, sometimes you can find yourself, no matter who you are, you can find yourself on the other end of media slander. And this is a very familiar situation for Joe Rogan, not too familiar for Nicki Minaj. So for those of you that may not know, Nicki Minaj came out again. She said something about COVID. Her fans were asking her. She engages with her fans. Number one, let's give Nicki some credit. She engages with the barbs. She stays on top of the barbs and stays, kind of on their bumper and make sure that they know that they're a part of something. So that's great fan engagement by her. With that being said, she was asked about the COVID vaccine. And, she just kind of shared her experience. Hey, I reached out to one of my people, and this happened in Trinidad with the COVID vaccine. She just talking to her fans, you know what I'm saying? And then she slick co-signed the vaccine. I'm going to get vaccinated. I'm going to make sure to do my part, do what I need to do. Drake is vaccinated. This, that, and the third. Like, so she stood next to being vaccinated. She didn't play with them, like in regards to just shun them off with her 22 million followers that they like to mention. So they kind of, as I would expect, with her again having ideas contrary to the masses or to the agenda that they would like to be at the forefront of people's mind. And see, it's weird because it is a dangerous time that we're in, right? It's a very dangerous time. This vaccine and the COVID corona thing, it's just slippery. All of this stuff is information out that that the vaccines are doing great. Then there's other people pushing that what are the vaccines really doing? Why do you need another one? What is this about? Like, so there's questions. There's things that we don't know about the vaccine. There's things that we don't know about. Listen, my granny never saw a pandemic. This only happens once every 100 years. It's rarer than you would like to believe that people live 100 years. So we have no information on how to deal with a pandemic. We don't know what to do. What is this? Right? And then unfortunate for us, or fortunate, depending on who you ask, we're born in a time where we're in the information age. So you got people pushing agendas. You got info out about this, info out about that, contrary to this, contrary to that. People saying this, people saying that. And at the center of it lies someone and making a decision on their real life and death, interacting with this vaccine. I've even heard them go as far as to say everybody's gonna catch COVID. Every single individual in America will catch COVID. Now we've switched our mindset into how do we make sure that when you catch COVID, you're equipped with something that and so I just don't know. It's so much going on. So with Nicki saying that, hey, I'm gonna do a little more research before I get vaccinated, next thing you know, the White House come out. See, Joe Rogan and Nicki, they stars. They big time. So the White House got to come out. Then they start slandering her. They start going on a tirade of she lied. She's lying about this. They even had the Trinidad president come out. Trinidad president come out and say she's lying. We have no cases of anyone testicle swelling, because that's what she said. She said that she was her cousin in Trinidad friend got vaccinated, his testicles swole, his wife or his fiance called off the marriage, and he's left with swollen testicles. And you know, it sounds funny, but that's what happened. And so with that being the case, she just told them, hey, I heard this. I'm not sure, so I'm doing a little more research before I get vaccinated. I didn't see the issue with that. But because of confusion, it's funny how y'all only can understand confusion when it's on our side. When y'all say something, it will be like, hold on, that don't make sense. Well, you just don't understand it. Just hold on. You just make us deal with it. But when we confused about something and want to hold on, you sure about that? Y'all push back with all y'all might. All of the news people running it on NICKI. Run it. Everybody saying this, that, and the third. This, that, and the third. This, that, and the third. They drilling her. But prior to us getting there, what I always tell y'all, they got to send us against us. You can't send a sheep in there with the lions. You can't send a sheep in there with the lions, but you can send a lion in there with the sheep. But you can't send a sheep in there with the lions, so they got to use us against us. It's on some Power Ranger type thing. The only way to get us is from the inside, right? So what they do? Someone with a job at a network has to come out and say something. Not maybe because, I mean, maybe they do believe it. Let's entertain the fact that they believe what they're saying. Let's entertain that. Let's say, all right, they believe what they're saying, that she's lying about it, is ill-advised, she shouldn't have said it. All of those things. Let's believe that. I think that the ideology of someone that works at a network is heavily influenced by the people that own the network. So because I know Master want me to attack this, and I'll be the one to do it because I'm black, right? So y'all don't want to look funny. Let me do it, right? I got y'all. I'm going to show them about playing. I can't believe she done that. Let's just say you know, you're there with it. But why do we got to adopt their way of correction? What happened to teaching one another? What happened to reaching back and saying, you know what? Hey, you got that one wrong. You got that one wrong. Pull me in. Yo, call me. Hey, I heard you say something about the vaccine that was wrong. I need you to come on NBC tomorrow, even if you want to do it for your network guy, whatever you work at. I need you to come up here tomorrow so I can kind of tell you exactly what we know as of now. Because girl, this may backfire on you. Instead, I'm gonna let you hear what she came out and said, and then I'll come back with some commentary.
NBC.
People like Nicki Minaj, I have to say this. You have a platform, sister, that is 22 million followers. For you to use your platform to encourage our community to not protect themselves and save their lives, my God, sister, you could do better than that. It's a blessing that you got that people listen to you, and they listen to you more than they listen to me. For you to use your platform to put people in the position of dying from a disease they don't have to die from, oh my God. As a fan, as a hip hop fan, as somebody who was your fan, I'm so sad.
I respect Joanne Reed. She's the homie.
You know, the unique thing and the funny thing, it's a lot in this game that I've been sent here to speak on and uncover and make sure that people can see beyond enemy lines. The thing about my platform and using my platform and all this talk about platforms is my platform, right? It belongs to me. It's mine. I built it, right? Me and the help of my loved ones are the people that have business interests with me, right? No one, that's number one. No one helps you build these platforms they want to dictate what you say on them. Right? It's very strange because I don't think it works like that in anything else in life. You don't want to have influence on things that you didn't help build. You can't tear down what you didn't help build. You can't just go to your neighbor's house and start tearing his roof off because you don't appreciate the roof, right? But let's put that to the side. The fact that it's my platform, I built it, and no one else ever helped me use any resources to help build the platform. Let's put that to the side. Let's address the fact that usually in the black community, you know, the chosen few of us that do have these big platforms, a lot of times the reason we have such big platforms is because people can relate to us. With that being said, I find it strange, ill-advised, and naive of most people that's in mainstream media and abroad to not understand that usually for someone that's that engaged with their fans, usually their ideas have the identity of the fans. So if there is a misconception or a misunderstanding on the side of someone that does have a big platform, that may be an indication of where America stands at, right? Not necessarily sure about the situation. And I think it's unfortunate that they're that ill-advised to not understand that what I say is a reflection of those people. Those 22 million people that follow me, maybe 70 or 80% of them are just as unsure as I am. And they don't know the same way that I do. So a lot of times what I say is a reflection of them, and that's why they follow me. That's why they engage with me. What you ask me to do is not be who they love me to be and be someone that you would like for me to be. But in turn, my numbers will look sort of like yours, which is not good unless you mention my name. But these are the games that we're playing. We're ignoring so many things when we ask these. So listen, the only reason that 22 million people follow Nicki Minaj is because they can relate to her on some level, whether that be music, whether that be motherhood, whether that be modeling, whether that be wigs, whether that be fashion, whether that be whatever it is. There's a reason why 22 million people follow Nicki Minaj. That may be an indication of what 22 million people could stand. Yo, bro, they don't know. They're confused. I always tell people that work with the white people in certain structures, right? What y'all think is happening is not happening. You could have chose that time to handle that in a way where you send a shockwave through the community. You could have reached those 22 million people instead of, all right, let's have a standoff. You said what you said, I'm finna say what I say, and let's go from there. Nah, you say, yo, reach out. Say, yo, let me put you down. We talking about NBC, dog, or whoever. Y'all can get in touch with Beloved. Somebody could have got in touch, put them two black women together, gave us some information, maybe shot a doctor in there. She could have reported back. Y'all, I looked at the actual numbers and the data, and you know I wouldn't lie to y'all, but this is what I found. But they took a different approach. But I really just find it funny that that people are so out of touch. There's confusion with this vaccine, bro. I don't care who doesn't want to hear that. Right? That doesn't mean that we're denouncing it. That doesn't mean we're endorsing it. There's confusion. It was presented a certain way. Was it FDA? Was it emergency? What is it? What, you know, was it man-made? Was it like, it's so many questions. Is this working? What effects is it having? Girls thinking no reproduction. Like there's things that's unclear. And y'all keep talking on CNN about things that ain't getting to the people. Y'all want to talk to the people, cut a check, send some doctors to the Breakfast Club, to It's Up There podcast, to $1 million worth of game, to Big Facts podcast. Send some people through there to get some information out. But talking on CNN ain't gonna get it done. It just ain't gonna get it done. Shortly after that, Nicki Minaj goes through a situation with what? Twitter. You said something about COVID, you've been disabled. So now you see someone like Nicki say, all right, I'm going to throw my weight around. We're done with Twitter. It's over for Twitter. We're not doing Twitter no more. Twitter's done. It's a wrap. millions of followers she had, and she spoke to being, you know, oppressed, not being able to ask questions, not being able to just say, yo, you sure? See, they don't understand. They still think that it worked like that. That's old game. That's over. That game is done. The don't ask, don't tell game, that's over with. We in the information age. You got to put it out there in their face. If you don't put it out there in their face, they ain't taking it for law. They ain't taking it for law. So when people do stuff like that, your reaction don't need to be, Nicki Minaj, you use your platform to do that. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on what? What you mean shame on? And then they sent you out, or oftentimes, because I'm going to tell you this that I know for a fact. Oftentimes we think it's the white boy behind it. The white man made you say this. The white man put you up to it. A lot of times the black people be doing it because they think that's what the white boy want to see. A lot of times the white boy ain't even said the direction. They just think the white boy want me to chop them down. I got him, boss. How dare you? It's like, yo, we could have handled this different. It could have been even more lucrative for NBC or whoever it could have been. Business could have happened then. Yeah, it's time for business. Oh, she don't know something. It's my each one teach one. I got her, boss. Hey, can we get y'all call Nikki, tell her we got this amount for her. She can come tomorrow. Hurry up, though, before somebody get a hold of it. Right? But Trinidad, they go get the president involved. He says, oh, man, we spent so much money trying to track it down, and it's not true. It's not true. White House come out. Yo, this is not true. This is an attack on people that, you know, whatever they may have said to denounce her. But they got to know the pulse of the culture. You got to know the pulse of the American people. People are confused. People are worried. Everybody ain't shits and giggles about this. People are nervous. It's a pandemic. We can't even go ask Granny and them about this. Usually something like this happening, we can go ask Granny. Granny, what happened back in the day when, or Mama and them? We can't even go ask nobody. Go ask Granny and them. I don't know, son. I ain't never seen this. I was born after this. The last time that happened was 1920. I was born in 42. Right? So we don't even got no, like, people spooked, man. And y'all got to respect that. I don't know if this is true or not, but I'm reading something right here. And I'll put it on the screen. But it says this Tank, the real Tank, posted, anyone care to apologize to Nicki Minaj? It says from the September 10th, 2001 release of data, found 66 cases where vaccine targets COVID-19 and symptoms in testicle swelling. So it turns out that may even be the case. Now, if that's even the case, that'll be sickening, right? Because we're also dealing with an evolving situation. None of this is set in stone. And that's why I hate, too, that they do. They approach these things like it's set in stone, and that's why they lose people like me a lot of times. Because it's first, wear the mask. It's the right thing to do. Then you don't have to wear the mask. Then, you know, wear the mask again, or it doesn't, you know, it's not airborne, or it is airborne. It's like, yo, y'all be so matter of fact about it that when you wrong, I gotta be like, oh, yo, they'll play with the matter of fact. They'll play with the matter of fact. Them folks don't be knowing sometimes. So I gotta. And then when you present the vaccine in a way where you say it's FDA approved, or you didn't say nothing about the FDA, vaccines are here. And it's like somebody else, I think, brought it up. Yo, it's an emergency thing. That ain't even a. It's like, yo, why y'all didn't say that, bro? All y'all had to do was say that. Maybe I would have. Yo, so that kind of stuff makes you apprehensive. And for people to ignore that, it's just silly to me. Let's talk about the Fat Joe and Ja Rule versus. Fat Joe and Ja Rule had a versus. It was I watched it. I watched it all. I sat there, rolled me up a couple of blunts and just watched it, and it was dope. I was disappointed in Fat Joe. I thought Fat Joe was gonna come out there with that shit on, with that ice on. I thought he was gonna take advantage of the optics. I thought he was gonna take advantage of the ambiance, and you were gonna be like, oh, he was bossed up, cause he that dude be on that. That's his vibe. So when he came out like that, I was like, all right, I see what you got going, but you ain't giving me big boss player vibes. You understand me? So they went on, and I saw him play with 50 Cent a little bit and play with his street credibility a little bit, but Ja Rule wasn't letting up on him. Ja Rule wasn't letting up on him. See, we're going to have a long pod today, man. So much. It's just dope. A lot to talk about. Just so much going on in the culture. But Fat Joe, you know, at the beginning tried to talk bad to him. You know, it didn't work. It wasn't coming. It wasn't hitting. I wasn't receiving it right. You know, I was like, yo, I believe Fat Joe far as, you know, I watched him come up, so I got respect for his, you know, what he got going on. But I'm like, it ain't coming off right, though. It ain't hitting. You understand? But when I sat back and I looked at Ja Rule, I couldn't do nothing but shake my head. I said, see how you let a man, Ja Rule, because you know, when I thought about Ja Rule and I was telling people, I said, yo, he got a lot of hits. But I thought Fat Joe was big boy, but he got a bunch of hits. You understand me? But I'm telling myself, it just fucked up because you dealing with Ja Rule should be the poster boy of tricking you out of your spot. Cause when I look at him, all I can think about is, man, look what 50 done to him. I know the feds is involved. I'm just talking about musically. He tricked you. 50 come right in. Yo, dude, you singing on the records. Come on, man. We ain't with that. We gangster. Bulletproof vests and bulletproof cars and, yeah, big straps and whooping dudes. We ain't with that singing, da-da-da. Next thing you know, he 21 questions you. Candy shop you. Singing. He come right with the singing. He tricked you right off the thing. So this is what I was explaining to somebody. Ja Rule coming with the Mariah Carey records, this record, that record, Ashanti, this, that. He's dominating mainstream. Mainstream's not going to tap into I smell pussy. Is that you, Ja? I smell pussy. They ain't going to tap into that. So the next time they see Ja Rule and they see we gonna clap back, they like, yo, fuck is this? That's the dude from they literally, I remember, I watched my mother and them, they looking at the screen like, what? That's Ja Rule. That's an okay record, but that ain't what they knew him as. He let 50 make him think that the singing was uncool, stop singing, and 50 started singing. It was dog, you blew the best fumbling the bag. You fumbled the bag. You let him trick you. You don't never let nobody trick you. I tell my son to this day, don't let them trick you. Always be smarter than them. Always overthink them. Because most people ain't thinking. So all you got to do is think a little bit, because they going to just be acting with their emotions. 50 come right in with the formula. Sweep him out of that spot, step into that spot. Look, Nelly and them was singing. All them dudes was getting off with that. You gonna talk me into not doing it? Man, listen, you say what you want to. When this money slow down, I met you. But until this money slow down, we ain't talking about nothing. Boy, I come out the trenches. It's the same way when certain people, I've seen, like when Buck respond to Cook Up, it set it on fire. Like certain times you got to know when to respond and when not. When it's a certain situation, go at it. But when it's certain, ain't no need to. Keep it moving. Also, when I look at Fat Joe on this, I say Fat Joe is he kind of like was a boss type dude in this game. You know, he wasn't one of them. He wasn't one of them just gonna rap. And for you to help people and be a boss in this game, you can't have that hater spirit I was talking about. You know, and so I don't never want the North. You know, I got family, people I love up in New York and the North. So I don't want y'all to never think I'm talking about the North in particular. I'm talking about a lot of people that's in the industry. And y'all know, because a lot of y'all up north done try to reach out to some of them dudes and they ain't doing nothing. You trying to pay them dudes or get on or try to do something with them and they ain't doing nothing. They leave you on red and you trying to offer them money to further your brand. So you know these people in this industry, man, that represent, the gatekeeper type people. You know what type people you dealing with. But you do got people that give opportunities. The Jay-Z's, the Dames, the Diddys, the 50s, the Fat Joes, and it's a lot more. You know, I can't think of them off the top of my head. But when you look at Fat Joe and you look at Remy and you look at Big Pun and you look at Khaled, Cool and Dre, Terror Squad, you got to think he was out there hustling with Diddy and them. He was out there hustling with Jay-Z, Diddy, and all them. His shit was ringing at the same. He was wrestling with them with Pun. You got to think he had somebody that was wrestling with Biggie. Pun was rap, Big Pac, Pun. They was wrestling. Pun was in last place, but they was wrestling. Sometimes just to get the match is a hell of a thing. Just to be in the conversation is a hell of a thing. Like I saw where Young Thug is number 55 or something in the world on Spotify. Like that's a dope number. Do you know how many artists it is? Like you got to take your wins and put them in perspective. But Fat Joe couldn't necessarily move with that hater spirit with helping all the people that he had helped, you know, along the way. You know what I'm saying? And I want to kind of also put in perspective what I mean when I say hater spirit and why I attach that to Fat Joe and some of these other individuals. When you deal with the music business and you deal with record labels, you gotta remember this. Record label's job is to find talent. It's someone's job in that label your job is to find talent, get the talent. Once you got the talent, you'll make some kind of commission or at least keep your job if you continue to do this and continue to produce numbers, right? From that standpoint, I understand people getting deals. Shout out to I can't think of her name. On Instagram is Baroline. She worked with Universal. Shout out to her. She's a woman in the industry that's her job. Is to make sure things happen for these artists and produce those numbers back to the label. But we talking about an artist, a rapper. I got to put you in the, so when MTV call and say, yo, we got a spot for the awards, you got to say, yo, I'm sending Big Pun. I'm a rapper too now. I'm sending Big Pun. You got to think what that look like, what that feel like. A lot of y'all won't even call your homeboy when he do something that you don't even do, and you can get him in, you can help him out some kind of way. He do podcasts and you know a nigga that got a podcast network, you won't even call your homie and you don't even do podcast. Let alone you do the same exact thing as your homeboy or somebody that, and you rather put them in that spot because it's the better decision. Oh, they don't care nothing about decisions. They don't care nothing about better decisions. They care about self-sufficient, furthering their selves. So for Fat Joe to put his homie in that position, for me, that speaks volumes. That's not a small feat to somebody like me. I know what that mean. I know sometime when they call, they don't got room for 5 of y'all. They need one of your artists, and you got to send the other homeboy. And then there was a point where Fat Joe, where Ja Rule went into a song and he brought Lil Mo and Vita out. First thing I said was, see, because I'm an adult now. So first thing I said was, man, Vita is skinny. Y'all know, if you know me, you know I like ass and titties and all that. So soon I said, wow. But my old lady had to say, nah, she been skinny. I'm like, nah, seriously? Nah, she been skinny. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I betted her. I said, yo, he gonna say something about them. Soon as he said, yo, you gotta feed these girls. I said, I told you he was gonna say something, but it backfired. See, this is the thing that I tell people about podcasting and conversation and why I'm supreme game. It's because sometimes it ain't about what you say, it's how you say it. You don't put it on the girls, you attack Ja Rule. Even if you reference them some kind of way, you attack him. You see what I'm saying? And his attack was received like an attack on the women. I know he didn't mean it that way. What I didn't like about it is shortly after that, Lil Mo and them ran the TMZ, ran here, ran there, and spoke about it. Now, who am I to say how you feel about it? But I think they can stay in our community, go holler at the home boy. He ain't even coming off like that. Like, his vibe ain't even like that. Why y'all running to them white people? And I respect them and I like TMZ, but dog, bro, vibe wasn't even like that. Get up with bruh, man. Like, yo, we can't holler at each other. We can't holler at each other, my nigga. We can't go say, yo, Fat Joe, I'm coming on your show Friday. I'm coming on your show Friday and we need to speak. He apologized 3-4 times. It's like they still were trying to drag it. I didn't like that. I felt like, yo, bro, you know what I was doing. I was performing up there. I used y'all to try to shake out of something. I was wrong for that. I apologize for that, and you know I didn't mean that. I hope you do. Now, if she don't feel like if she felt like he meant that, that's a different thing. I can't speak for her. But it came off like, yo, bro, please, bro. Don't ruin somebody that's really trying to be like, nah, it wasn't like that. You know, and it kind of felt like Ja Rule was, I don't know if he was doing it from trying to save his homie, but it kind of felt like he was pulling forward a little bit. It just felt funny from everybody. I ain't gonna even lie. I can't lie. Fuck it, I ain't gonna even lie. If everybody sounded like they were trying to get Fat Joe out of here for a second. It's what it felt like. It's what it felt like. I hate it for him. Also, when he brought out Remy Martin, that was dope. That was real dope. When she went into that freestyle, Iggity Wiggity, that's hard to do. Like, don't get that confused, just thinking that's some kind of small feat. That's hard to do. Like, you know, and she did her thing. When she came out, she was looking good. See, she shut it down. I thought Fat Joe was going to come with a little more of that shit on. Like, you know, if I ever had to show up, it's yo, ain't nobody finna deny what this is. Now, the music, y'all might say I lost, but far as the ambiance, man, we having that shit on, not off, man. You know what I'm saying? So, I hated that he didn't do that, because he a big boss player, nigga. Was, you know, he for a big dude, he be trying to put that shit on. So, I just, when he didn't show up like it, I didn't like it. And then Remy played Ja Rule when she said the streets need a body. You know, that's off that 50 Cent show, that Raising Canaan. So she hit him with that 50 Cent slang, you know. And I said, yeah, Remy is on her one too, for sure. You know, before I go any further though, I want to talk about, you know, something that I know that a lot of people go through, as it's reflected in society, you know, in American culture, in regards to just the relationship with the police and black men. Black men is under a lot of pressure. There's a lot of weight involved with being a black man, especially if you find yourself in a situation where finances are available for you, right? And people don't understand business or understand the way finances are allocated. And then weird things start to happen around you, right? What happens is, and what I want to speak to and speak about is the relationship in which anytime someone has an altercation with a black man, they call the police. Now, when I first thought about this, I said, well, what, you know, why would you call the police on someone that hasn't harmed you, done anything to you, hasn't robbed you, took nothing from you, done nothing? You would call the police because you look at the police like your backup. one thing that's universal, even to black people, is that when the police show up, they ain't gonna be on the black man's side. Whether that's the case or not is up for debate based on who you ask. But is that the thought process behind people when they dial 911 on a black man? I would say yes. People are called the police on you for things that the police can't even solve. But they want to call the police because, again, what do we know about the police and black people? Excuse me. What do we know about police and black men? That they view us as uncontrollable. Just think about the police pulling up on me. I got all this jewelry on. I got dreads. I'm about 6'1". I'm not no little bitty guy. Imagine them pulling up on me based on something where you, like, for me, I think it takes a certain level of I don't know if hatred is the right word. There's a word that needs to be used there, though, for you to put somebody in a situation, cause some people that's killing our kind. They killing people that look like this person. You'll call the police on them just to get them to, like, I don't understand it. And I think a lot of black men go through that. And it's a hard pill to swallow. It's rough, man, when people call people on you that they trying to even the score when the score is uneven to begin with. The score is uneven, man. You know, you coming out the winner 95% of the time. Anytime it look like a win for a black man and they can't make you do something, people call the police on you, and I hate that. You know, I think it need to be more conversation around what that's about. We not talking about under, you know, any violence or things like that. We talking about just simply because you want to call somebody. That's because you know the police don't like them folks, and when they get there, they ain't gonna take his side. And I hate that. I hate that. I think somewhere along the lines we got a certain level of hatred for ourselves, you know, when we talk to each other. But as the black man, as far as I'm concerned, you know, I be trying to stay positive. I try to stay focused. Cause I know if they get me on that track, man, I owe a lot of people some shit that they don't know I owe. You know, I took things a certain way all my life, you know, that I may or may not have resolved in regards to some people that may have been that I may have let slide because of this or because of that. You know, so if they make me turn the light off, man, it's gonna get dark. And I try not to turn the light off because I know myself. I try to stay over here where it's light at, keep hustling, keep digging, keep going toward the goal. Don't let nobody, you know, because if I go to dancing over there, I'm comfortable over there. I'm comfortable in haywire. I'm comfortable with the building crashing. That's why I'm comfortable at. This what I'm doing is what's uncomfortable. You understand me? Staying focused on something, doing something that ain't giving me the results that I would like to see. I want a mansion about this here. I need millions about this here, right? So you got to know what that takes somebody like me that's productive in other areas that had to sit down and do some things that I understand while I'm in the building phase of the business. You understand? So what I'm saying is I try not to let people walk me into over there with it. Because you're going to be surprised how comfortable I lay down and go to sleep over there. I can lay down and go to sleep over there where y'all scared to go. And for me, I know you don't know that. And I know you ain't willing to go as far as I'm willing to go. So I try to always brush it off. Put it to the, unless it's some violence or somebody that done scared me. And if you scare me, I got to come out. I got to come out because I can't live like that. But all that other shit I put to the side, like, yo, hey, yo, get something. Keep getting money. Keep getting money. Keep getting money. Just stay focused. You almost there. You close. It's working. You're almost there, right? Because I'm the nigga that talk bad about you boys when you fumble the bag. I'm the one that's sitting in my room or watching my 9-inch saying, yo, he fumbled the bag. He got all the way there and then let them trick him. I can't let them trick me. You dig what I'm saying? So for me, it's always important. I always tell young dudes and people that watch me, old, young, whoever, know yourself. Know yourself. Know your triggers. I don't know all my triggers. I ain't perfect. I always tell people I come with all kind of shit. But when in regards to certain the things that I do have under control, yeah, I got a firm grip on those things. Right? So other things outbalance other things, right? And so I have to work on myself as a you know, in totality, but I do understand my strengths, my weaknesses, and some of my triggers. So I try to stay away from the dog side, 'cause I know you don't want to play on the dog side. You want to play, but you don't want it to go where I'm gonna take it. And I don't need to take it where I'm willing to go, because it's too much on the line. And I made my whole shit off saying, yo, how you drop that bag, dog? How you fumble that? That was a layup. Like, you supposed to took advantage of that. So for me to fall victim to that'll be an issue. But what I do think happens, and what I do think is currently taking place with me, is I'm failing to really experience things, whether that's good or bad, right? I don't care about it. I guess keep going, because I understand, number one, I'm behind schedule. For me to be able to talk like this on this level, do this type of thing, I should already be millions of dollars in a year. I really know that in my heart. So for me, that keeps me going. Like, yo, dog, I don't have time to celebrate. I don't have time to say, yo, we taking a part off to go and kick it. Not right now. Not right now when I'm digging. Not right now. That's your dude's problem. You go to celebrate. Now, I seen a post the other day say, yo, the streets is full of dudes that's popping bottles and celebrating failure. Dudes is going to prison and making a bond and going to the club and celebrating. My whole thing is always what? You got to begin with the end in mind. A lot of these dudes don't have enough game to know what a win look like. So, you know, it's a confusing state to be in. But as black dudes, man, we go through so much. You know, we got to build. We got to build ourselves in such a way, man, where we can't even have no holes in the boat. We can't even really delegate too much, because everything is shaky for you and it's circumstantial. You understand? But when one thing you do know, you can depend on you. And I always tell my kids, and I tell my sons, you don't want to do it how I done it. It's real hard, it's rough, it's wear and tear on you. You want to live way, you know, freer than I did. That's why I hate to see a young dude go down there, 'cause I know you ain't ready for that. You don't want to do that. You're not ready. You can't survive going that way. Do not go that way. It's too much for you. It's too much independent thinking, critical thinking. You trust people too easy, like you, because as a youngster, you didn't trust your homeboy with your joystick. Or your mama didn't live in the projects where your bike kept getting stolen every time you didn't lock it up. You would just leave your bike outside. You would just leave your shit laying. You don't need to go that way. You don't got no experience. Stay away from that. And we got to be clear when we communicate that to the little boys, whether they take it away or not. Whether they take it away or not, you not that. And I'm standing on that, and I'm clear about that, because what's coming, you know how you can pick a door behind door number one, behind door number. We know what's behind the street dude though. And we know what tools you need to go in that door, right? You don't show up at a painting job without a paintbrush. You don't try to become a teacher without some form of certificate or some kind of, you could be a sub, but I'm talking about a professor. You understand me? You don't. It take qualifications for you to even be in certain fields. It take qualifications. And that's for anything. You don't use the same season on beef that you do on chicken. You know, it's ways to go about things, right? And so it really burns my soul to see a little nigga go down there, try to even go down their street lane when I know, bro, you not equipped for that. You gon' listen, and that don't mean that you can't fight. See, that's what they hear when you say that. That's why I gotta talk about it more. Because they got no understanding. Don't nobody got more game than me. So ain't nobody never said it. So I gotta be the nigga that said it. It's my job to say it. Nigga, when I tell you don't go down the street route, that don't mean I'm saying that you not tough and you can't fight, that you ain't a man, and nigga, you ain't a street dude. Really what I'm telling you is you ain't dumb. Anybody went down that route, they were dumb. Whether or not they made it or not, that's cool. Okay, I tell you what. If you go down the street route, in my opinion, you either dumb or you a genius. Because the dumb ones go down that route, they never recover. The ones that do get out of that, I would like to call them a genius. Because it's designed for you to not get out of it. So the little niggas, when I tell them you not that, you not a street dude, they hear me saying that they not tough, that they not mean, that ain't what I'm saying. Listen, down that street right there, it ain't nothing but straight potholes and shit that's gonna tear the car up and people stealing cars, and you don't go down there, bruh. And you got a choice to go the other way. I see if you had no choice and you were just born in the ghetto, in the gutter. I hate to see it. It bothers me. It really bothers me. Everything in life has standards. Everything in life has directions. Everything in life don't come with directions, but everything in life has directions. There's a way to go about every single thing. That's science. That's bigger than me or you. That's science. That's that what goes up must come down. These type things, these are science things. This ain't me saying this, right? Every action has a reaction. So what I'm saying is, if you're not equipped, I would urge everybody not to go down that route unless you go down there with the understanding I'm gonna go down here and grab a few things and run back up his way fast as I can. But oftentimes, like I spoke about famous decks, we see that they go down that route and then it bites them. The streets get a hold of them, the drugs, the freedom of just getting up any time of the day. That's why I still to this day, no matter what, I appreciate my mama putting my uncle and them on me. Man, they was over there at 6 in the morning. Come on, man, put the drill in your hand. You going to work with us every day. So I'm, even though I'm complaining and oh man, it's what they done to me now is it puts certain shit in me that, again, most of the street guys don't got that. And for that reason by itself, I might have got the job. Or for that, just that small, you know what I mean? So it's these little things happen, man. And I just want people to be full aware, you know, of what you up against, and let the young dudes know, man, like, yo, stay away from that. I ain't saying stay away from being cool. You can be cool. You want to be cool. I know you want to be cool, and you don't want people to think you square, you bare and square. You understand? You don't want people to think that you Leon the peon. I know this, and that's fine, but I'm talking about dumb. I'm talking about risking it all and all that old, come on, man, we got to be swifter than that. We preaching game. We want people to be smart. So I just think that was important. I went off on a tangent on that, and that's how I do sometimes. But we're going to get to Fat Joe and Ja Rule versus. I'm going to play a little bit of it. I spoke about it a little bit earlier, but I wanted to kind of get a few clips and let you kind of hear the feel and feel what I was saying about how I kind of had certain expectations of Fat Joe that he didn't necessarily deliver on. You know, I looked at Fat Joe like, yo, Fat Joe gonna come out there with the big boy this or that. I would tell him my old lady, yo, I think Fat Joe, yeah, he one of them. Yeah, he like me. He one of us. He gonna have it on. Yeah. He gonna have it. He came out there like that. I'm like, yo, that ain't giving what it should be giving. You understand? That ain't doing it. You can't beat it. You know he gonna take his shirt off. You gotta have 3 times as much jewelry for a nigga that's gonna take his shirt off. When a nigga take his shirt off and he got that type of muscles and shit, a nigga need 200-300 more thousand worth jewelry on. Nigga, big boy shit. But he gave away some bags on stage, and things like that, which I think his message was, I'm getting money, I'm big money. That was his message, but his you know, respectfully to Fat Joe, he a legend. I mess with him. I would tell him I really